Good morning. I hope you are well. So if you have joined me, then you're in for a treat. We are going to be sharing a simple recipe, a simple meal idea. I woke up today really craving chickpeas and spinach, and so I thought I'd share a very, very easy chickpea and spinach curry that's actually a shortcut. So I know many of you in these times are looking for easy, cost-effective, yummy, nutritious meals, and you may not be used to cooking this type of food, but you may be used to eating it. You may be used to be going out for an Indian meal, for example, and having a really delicious meal. So I want to make that a reality for you in your home. I want to show you how you can bring that into your own home. So I have kind of prepared, I've just finished steaming some sweet potatoes, which are going to go in the chickpea curry. So these are really soft and ready to go. So I'm going to actually just rinse them with some cold water so that they stop cooking whilst we create the rest of the meal, and they can just sit there waiting. Amazing. Okay, so what do we need for this meal? So I've got some chickpeas. So I just have like a can of chickpeas. So again, this is like a shortcut way of making this recipe. I have the spinach and I have the shortcut spinach. So I have some really beautiful organic spinach that's frozen, and it comes in these blocks that you literally just pop in the curry when it's made. It's really super easy. I have a half a tomato. Now, you know, it's one of these days where I'm missing some key ingredients, and I have half a tomato and I don't have any chopped tomatoes, and normally this meal really requires some chopped tomatoes. So I'm gonna do another little cheat, which is I'm gonna use some organic ketchup, Italian organic tomato ketchup, which I have an abundance in the fridge. We just opened this. And, you know, it's a really great ketchup recipe. It does have a bit of sugar in it. It's got vinegar, sea salt, onion, and spices. But to top the curry up with a little bit of the tomato, and you'll see why in a little bit, it will help to create the gravy. It's just another little shortcut that you can take. So adding a tablespoon of this in it isn't really going to hurt. And I've also got some tofu as well to put in here. So this is some organic peanut tofu. Now, I really would only recommend eating organic tofu because it's so genetically engineered now. That stuff just interferes with our own DNA, and we have to be really careful with it. So I only really buy organic soy. So I have a whole block of peanut soy, which is my favorite one. I have some odorless coconut oil, which I'm gonna use to cook everything in. And then I have some spices and some other aromatic things. So I've got some whole cumin. All my spices are from Unicorn in Manchester, organic green grows. So I've got some black pepper. I have some ground coriander. I have some curry powder. And I have some curry leaves, really, really important. This is very much from my particular lineage. I am from Mauritius. My ancestors are from India. And we always use curry leaves when we're cooking because they're so fragrant. They give you this really unique, earthy, aromatic fragrance, which I can't resist. So I'm also going to add into my pestle and mortar some garlic. So let's do that now. I'm going to show you how to really just quickly prepare this. So I'm going to put in like a really big clove of the garlic and another really big clove of the garlic, because in these times we can never be too supportive of our immune system, and some garlic. So I've got quite a bit. I've got an offcut. So this is about, I don't know, like let's see how big that is. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to put another little bit in, another little bit. And that's going to go in there too. And my trick for garlic is literally just kind of give it a bash with a knife or with one of these, and then the skin wants to come off really easily. Then that's just come off the skin really, really super easy, like that. So I'm going to take the garlic out, and I'm going to just mash up the ginger first. Now, that's because the ginger needs longer to activate and it requires heat to activate. Whereas the garlic, if it's cooked for 5 minutes, for longer than 5 minutes, then its nutritional contents get broken down. Its anti-inflammatory properties and so on. It still tastes great, but it's not. The properties of the healing properties have been kind of cooked away. So I tend to add that in last. So I'm going to just do this ginger. It's all kind of mashed up in here so that that can go into the pan pretty soon. Okay, so that's everything. So we're going to start. Oh, no, hold on one sec. So we've got an onion and I've also got a cauliflower to put in there too. So just going to quickly show you how it's so super easy and simple to prepare this. Literally, these are offcuts. I'm just like cutting all the little florets off really roughly. And then I'm going to just cut the florets in half. The florets, is that what they're called? Really easy. It hardly takes a minute, not even a minute. And that's just going to make it easier to cook. So if you want this to be a kind of a quick meal, that cooks fairly quickly, then just chop everything up accordingly. So, but also be mindful of cutting the different vegetables. So if you're going to put all the veggies in at once, and you know that some veggies are going to cook, aren't going to take very long, and some are going to take longer, then either cut all the veggies up different sizes. So the veggies that take longer to cook, you've cut them up into much smaller sizes. And the veggies that take shorter to cook, they're in bigger size, so that when you put them all in, they can kind of roughly take the same amount of time. Or that's the easiest way if you want to chuck everything in the pan and not have to think about it. Or if you're a little bit more used to cooking and the timings of cooking and you want to just put things in at different times, go ahead and do that too. So onions, I'm just going to really quickly dice those onions. I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. I'm not going to get all French chef on this. I'm just going to really make it easy. Sometimes if you have some nice big chunks in there, it's quite nice, isn't it? So this is pretty much done now. I'm using quite a big pan to cook. I'm going to add in a bit more liquid so that there's like a nice decent quantity. So I've got like a nice big pan like this on here. And I'm just going to switch the heat on for that and get that going. So I'm putting it onto kind of like a medium heat. And I'm going to put about, let's say about a tablespoon of the odorless coconut oil. Now, the reason I use coconut oil is because it has a really high burning temperature. So it doesn't burn, basically. It's grown in a hot climate and it doesn't burn very easily. So a lot of the time we're cooking in olive oil, which burns, and when it burns, it goes rancid and it's really harmful for the body. So we have to be really careful about the types of oils that we use. They become unstable for the body. So a lot of vegetable oils have a low burning point. So coconut oil is like the absolute best to use. It's really it's, you know, it's pretty cost effective because it can last a long time and it's much better for your health. So I would go with that. So I've just got that in there. So I'm just going to stick in the onion and I'm going to put in the ginger. So that's going in there. And then I'm going to put the garlic back in here and give that a quick pummel so that the garlic can go in pretty much at the end, like very much at the end, so it can just simmer for a couple of minutes, and then I'm just going to turn the heat off because it will continue to cook anyway. There are some amazing recipes online for garlic tonics. I don't really get colds and flus so much anymore, but in the past when I used to get them, I used to make like this really, really strong, potent mix with ginger and garlic and a bit of cayenne pepper and cinnamon and loads of other beautiful anti-inflammatory herbs and cloves. And I used to make a decoction of that. I used to simmer it away for a little while, rosemary, and then drink it. And it was actually grew to really love it. So anti-inflammatory. So I'd recommend looking into that. I'm actually going to put these cauliflower in also because they're going to take a little while to cook. And I could have steamed them with the sweet potato, but I just forgot. So there we go. So they're going in now. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few more things in here and then we can kind of leave that to simmer. And then I want to talk a little bit about the importance of having a morning routine. I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk a little bit about that and how you can develop that into your life if that's something that you're interested in. So just to finish off this stage of the cooking, I'm going to put in a good heaped teaspoon of this curry powder and a little bit more. So there's probably around about, I would say, a good heaped tablespoon of that curry powder going into the mix. The ground coriander, I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of the ground coriander. I love using ground coriander in Asian cooking. So delicious. I'm going to put in a little bit of cumin. Now you probably want to grind this and put in ground cumin. I am not. I'm going to put in a little bit of the whole cumin because mostly my husband's not a big fan of cumin. And I like having a little bit of a hint of a flavor, and I think I can get away with that with him. He doesn't complain too much. He's Indian also, which is funny that he's not a fan of ground cumin. And then I'm going to put the curry leaves in. So I'm going to put about a dozen of the curry leaves in them. My favorite aspect of all of this. And then I'm going to strain the chickpeas, which I didn't do before. So that's ready. Great. So I'm going to start to chop the tomatoes as we kind of chat and intermittently just give all this a stir we want to start to just heat up to activate the flavors, all the spices, because this is what's going to form the curry, like the sort of the sauce, curry, gravy, the gravy of the curry. And make it really yummy, really, really delicious, really potent. So I'm not making a heavily spiced curry here. I'm making something that's really quite mild and subtle. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about a morning routine. I felt like cooking is such a big part of my morning routine now. It's not something that I used to do in the morning, and it led me to think about, well, what are the other aspects of my morning routine, and why do I do them, and why are they important, and are they helping me and supporting me in this time? So with my yogic practice and my yogic training and teaching, we've always integrated morning routines, rituals, particularly, and practices in the morning as a way of really welcoming the day in and starting the day as we mean to go on. So, for example, meditation practice in the morning or a sacred ritual with the elements and honoring the earth energies, for example, just help to put us into a really wonderful, receptive state of mind, you know, and for us to start the day feeling really grounded and really stable and really, I'm really ready, you know, for what the day is going to bring. And a morning routine can be pretty much anything that you feel is important for you, is relevant for you to do in the morning. I was talking to my sister last night. So these tomatoes are going in now. So we've done the spices with the onions and they're starting to soften. I'm going to add the tomatoes. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of water. Just a little bit of water to cover the bottom of the pan. Rather than adding in more oil, which is sometimes when the pan starts to get a little bit dry, rather than adding in more more oil, I just add in a little bit of water. It's going to do the same thing. Everything's just going to simmer away in that water. So I was talking to my sister yesterday and she was talking to me about how one of the new parts of her morning routine is to go for a run. And I just thought that that's really beautiful, that every day that, and you know, it's sometimes the practices that we incorporate into our morning routine, you know, sometimes they're really beautiful and they're really opening and gentle and we feel so relaxed within them. And some of them also can be pretty intense. If we are wanting to practice or take a run like my sister does, that can be really intense. But it's important to have a balance in our morning routine. It's important that our morning routine isn't just fitness, for example. It's not just an opportunity to hit the weights and hit the treadmill and do some intense core workout. That's really important. But it also helps to have this balance in the morning routine, to have aspects of your routine that are really relaxing and really connecting. Maybe take you outside to appreciate nature or to bathe in the energy of the sun, for example, or even the wind. It was windy this morning, and if you were outside in Manchester, then you would be blessed with this wind energy just really blowing. You know, when the wind blows it against us, it's almost like a type of healing therapy, right? Because that force is just helping to kind of cleanse us and helping to ground us as well. It's really beautiful. So being out in the elements, in nature, as part of your morning routine is a really great idea. So pretty much every morning, I start the day with a ritual, which is honoring the earth energies, honoring Mother Earth, honoring the sun particularly, and really asking that the sun not just nourish me, but help to illuminate for me what it is that I need to see on my path that day. So it's like the symbolism of the sun rising and illuminating the path for us is also a really beautiful thing to draw upon at the beginning of the day. And so I also within that honor other energies that I work with, deities, particularly the elements and fire. So I light a candle or burn some oil with a wick. I offer some food, I offer some water, some flowers, some tilicum, and they all represent the 5 different elements. And that's really important for me because I like to honor my place in this universe as a creative being, and I recognize that the 5 elements are part of our creation. It's part of what we create and how we create. And so I've even created a little altar outside. We actually go outside to do this ritual. It takes me outside. I can take my shoes off and really ground and connect to the earth. And then I meditate for half an hour to 40 minutes. And then sometimes I'll do a practice in the morning. additional to my meditation. I might do a half hour to 1 hour or even 1.5 hour yoga practice or Reiki practice. And if I have it in the morning, then often I'll do one in the evening. So 4 nights a week, there are various classes on that I'm teaching or I like to enjoy that other people are doing. And I do an hour or an hour and a half practicing in the evening, which can be anywhere from a meditative practice to a more high intensity practice. And then also throughout the day, I'm doing other practices. So I might take myself back out in nature. I might do some chanting. I might sing some mantras. I might go and make some more offerings to nature. I might go for a walk. There's so many things that I might incorporate as part of a daily routine. But the morning routine is where it's at. It's where it's at. It's so important to start the day with a morning routine. So I'm just going to put a bit of this ketchup in. It's been simmering away for a while. So I've put in like 2 tablespoons of that. Amazing. And so now everything's going to start to come together. So I'm giving that a stir. Okay. Yummy. It's starting to smell amazing. I'm going to add in the chickpea, can't really see it without me tipping everything out, chickpea sweet potato mix in here. Right. What else am I going to add? I'm going to add in the garlic. And yeah, if you want cooking to be a part of your morning routine, how beautiful. I have so enjoyed making cooking part of my morning routine. I kind of fell out of love a little bit. I said in one of my last videos, I fell out of love a bit with cooking. I'm also a nutritional therapist and I spend a lot of time advising foods. And I don't know, recently I just kind of got a bit bored. And then since lockdown, being in the house and actually realizing that we have this opportunity to have all this really yummy, nourishing food, I just started falling back in love with cooking and cooking in the morning. I love it. It's great because I know that it's done. So I'm going to put the tofu in here. And what I love knowing is actually having the day kind of planned out from the morning. So I get all my cooking out of the way and it's done. I have a whole morning of routines, of sacred rituals, of meditation, practice, and cooking. And that's my whole morning is just spent just being in this receptive state, being in joy, doing things that I love, putting music on, enjoying myself. And then I work later on. I work after 12 o'clock. And I just find that keeps me in this state of joy and flow. So it really works for me. So, this is an opportunity for us to, to tune in and to create the kind of new reality that we want to create. It starts with us, like we don't have to follow the status quo anymore. We don't need to follow the old way. We very much are able now to create a new relevant way for ourselves. And this is an opportunity for you to really tune into what's important to you. And probably naturally you've had to do this, right? Because you have kids now at home with you and you have other responsibilities and you're probably finding that you've had to organize yourself a new way anyway. And so really embrace that. Great. So this is pretty much done. I'm going to add in some seasoning. So I've got Himalayan pink salt. Really important because it's full of amino acids. And it is full of other minerals that we really need, that our body really needs to stay balanced and hydrated as well. So I'm going to add in some ground black pepper. I'm going to give that all a stir. Now, what I love about this is that the sweet potatoes have started to break down a little bit. and have made the sauce thicker and creamy, which is really yummy. So yeah. So I'm actually going to add in later I'm going to add into this some coconut, some desiccated coconut, because I absolutely love coconut. Those of you that know me and my cooking will know that I love coconut. So I'm just going to have a little taste of this. Yummy. That is done. The last thing I'm going to do, because I don't, this is already very wilted, I don't want to break this down further, is I'm going to add in a few of the spinach. It's going to have a little bit of water as well in it. Add a bit of water to make it a bit soupier. So, yeah, amazing. So I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've added 8 of these little sized spinach. I'm going to bring you over here so you can have a look. I'm going to switch the heat off. So I'm going to do Instagram first, so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to take the computer over here so that you can see what it looks like too. Oh, the computer's doing a funny thing. Amazing. So that's pretty much it. I'll write this up so that it can go on my blog and you can enjoy it in written format also. I hope that you enjoyed this little cookery lesson. I was asked by dear sister Victoria to contribute some more cooking resources for people who in this time are finding themselves in this situation, aren't familiar or so confident with cooking. And so I and some others will be sharing more simple cooking, cost-effective cooking tips in these times to support you to nourish yourselves and enjoy those yummy foods that you used to eat when you went out. We definitely can do them in the home. I hope you have a beautiful day. Please get in touch if you have any questions. Sending you loads of love.